Hey everyone, welcome to another night of REP Paranormal and Friends. We bring to you another special guest tonight. We have Andrew Aloha, and he is also the author of Andrew Aloha's Paranormal Experiences. So welcome, Andrew, to the show. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Aloha.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm busy with you guys. How's that right?
Yeah, well, hey, it could be a good thing. You never know.
Right.
So let's kind of jump into things. I know I did read your book, which was pretty awesome. And you've had a lot of different journeys and you've traveled a little bit and you've been back and forth and kind of explain how you started having these paranormal experiences and what made you want to write this book.
Well, that's a really good question. A couple of questions there. Now, I didn't really realize I was having these paranormal experiences so later in life. I think it's safe to say. Probably when I moved to Sedona, I think is when they really started to intensify and really pick up. One of the first things that I learned back in, and I moved to Sedona. Actually, I take it back. Before I moved to Sedona, I was living in Sacramento in a one-bedroom apartment, and I was working as a cook at Carlos restaurant, and I just wasn't in that groove, right? You know, where you just stuff. So I woke up one morning and I hear this voice in my mind, right? I don't know if you've ever talked to spirits, but this was like unusual because it was louder than usual. I heard this voice saying, "Get up and go around the corner and buy the blue." I thought it said blue Ford Fairlane.
Oh yeah,
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Oh yeah. It was very significant, and I thought, and I was, you're like half asleep, half awake in the morning, and I'm in my pajamas, and I go, "What? Go around the corner and buy the blue Ford Fairlane." Okay, so I got up out of bed and I looked around, and sure enough, there was a blue Ford Fairmont there, right?
Yeah.
And there, and I had just happened to have enough money. I knocked on the door of the guy that owned it, and he goes, "Well, I work for P&B. I just had the engine, blah blah blah." I don't know. I think he was feeding me a bunch of bull, but anyhow, so I went ahead and said, "Okay, well, I'll take it." So I think it was like $850 or something like that. So I gave him the cash. It didn't have a heater. I don't even think it had a radio in it. But I said, okay. So at the time, I had a dark blue, navy blue Honda Accord. Or was it Civic? Maybe it was anyhow. It was a Honda. So it couldn't go faster than 55 miles on the freeway. I mean, that's the fastest it could go, literally. So and it was like, it was tilted, all kinds of weird stuff to it, and so I went and I was living. Well, I grew up. I went to high school in Grass Valley, and some of my family is there. So I went and I went back, and I said, and there was some people there, and I said, well, I got to get rid of this car. I'm getting ready to leave. I had a friend there that I said, "Do me a favor and do a quick reading on me and see what you come up with." She said, "Oh, I can see you above the Grand Canyon." That's okay, bye. Right? It was like that. So literally, I said bye to my family and friends there. I loaded up my car that same day. I think it was that same day. I moved, and I didn't have much because I hadn't been living there that very long. So I went ahead and loaded everything up. I said, "Okay, I'm out of here." And one of the friends, I said, "I have this car, you can have it." I didn't even sell it to him. I said, "Here, you can just have it." go get it, and it's all here. So I don't know what happened after that, but literally I took off, and I was do you know where Grass Valley's at?
No, I don't know where Grass Valley is. No.
Well, Grass Valley is between Sacramento and Tahoe, up in the north Sierra Nevada foothill mountains, right? So I jumped on the road, took off, and I was coming into Reno. I went on the other side of Reno, and all of a sudden my car just goes, just died right on the freeway. What? I just got this car. No way.
Yeah.
So, and June 8th, this is June 8th, and it's snowing, right? In June, it's snowing. What?
Yeah.
I don't understand this. So anyhow, it was cold, freezing cold. I pulled over, and luckily I had AAA. I called AAA. They took me into Carson City, and there was a little rinky-dink garage there.
Right.
So they put me there. They go, oh, the place probably opens up at 9 o'clock. I said, okay. So you know, and I don't even know if I had food or not. It didn't matter. It was cold. I was annoyed, and I went to bed to sleep in the back of the car, right?
Right.
So I'm freezing my ass off, right? Freezing cold, right? And I said, forget it. So I jumped up in the front seat and cranked my car on, and it did. It turned on. Oh my God! I'm out of here. So I took out, and again, there's no heater, and there's no air conditioning, no radio. So I took off. I believe I went. It was probably about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I went down through Death Valley, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
On the edge between California and Nevada, all the way through. Finally, I got to Kingman, Arizona, about 7 o'clock in the morning. The sun's finally coming up, finally starting to warm up. I said, oh man, I was like freezing my butt off, right? So I went and jumped back in the back. I went to a rest area there and just jumped in the back seat and just went to sleep for a few hours, right? Right. So I probably slept for about 2 or 3 hours maybe, and got up. I said, okay, I'm out of here. So I took off and came here to Flagstaff, and I thought, oh wow, and I was warming up there and finally, you know, drive well enough to get over here. But anyhow, there was about 3 hostels here. You know what a hostel is, right?
What?
Do you know what a hostel is?
A what? You're cutting out a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me okay?
Now I can. Yeah, you were just cutting out there. I just caught like something like ha, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, I have this speaker that I like to talk through. Is that okay there? Can you hear okay?
I can hear you now. Uh-huh.
Okay, good. Well, anyhow, do you know what a hostel is?
Yeah, is that like a place where you can go stay, but then do you have to do something in return or not?
Well, they're really popular overseas, and it's like a dormitory style of living.
Right. Okay.
A place to stay. You share a bunk with 1 or 2 or 3 other guys, whatever. And
gotcha.
I got here and there was about 3 hostels, and the one that I stayed at was at the East Whittier Weatherford Hotel. The Weatherford Hotel is an older, and there's some old hotels there, and it happened to have a hostel, right? Oh. So I said, oh man. So I went and go ahead and stayed there. I don't know how much money. I didn't have much money in my pocket, but I had enough to go to the hostel. I stayed there for the night, got me a nice hot shower, grabbed me something to eat, and then woke up the next morning and then took off to Sedona, right? Now, before I left, I had gone to an expo. I believe it was in Sacramento, and there was some people from Sedona there, right? They had drums, and they were like, they talked about Sedona, and it's an ancient spiritual Indian ground, all this stuff. And so I went ahead and got a map before I left. I said, man, I want to visit Sedona, right? So I wasn't planning to live in Sedona, but I I just got a map of it because I knew I wanted to go check it out.
Uh-huh.
So I did. I drove into Sedona, and it was a beautiful. Well, yeah, it was a beautiful day. June 9th is when I got there. I just hung out, drove around, and hung out. I went to did a bunch of meditations, and a few days later, I thought I'll wait till the full moon, the Humanity Festival full moon, which is in June, and I'll go and I'll do a meditation, and then I'll figure out what I'm gonna do. So I hung out, listened to some music. Now it's funny because I had read in some newspaper about this little place in Sedona. They had original artists that were playing music there, local artists that were playing music there. And it was, I can't remember the name of the place, but it was in Rolling Stone magazine, I believe, literally. So I went there, I played checkers, hung out, just snacked on some different stuff, and just listened to music for like a few days. Well, the full moon came. I stayed. I literally camped out in my car in Snub. Have you been up to Sedona before?
I've been to Sedona. I went there for just a few hours one day, and it was pretty neat place.
Few hours? What?
Yeah, I didn't go there a whole. I know I didn't go there a whole day. So, but yeah, I'd like to go back there.
No, you're supposed to stay long enough so you can get abducted and fly in a spaceship.
Hey, a whole day, that'd be cool. Take me away. Beam me up, Scotty.
So anyhow, I camped out in Snubberly Hill, and for the full moon, I decided, well, I went ahead and went to bed early, and I meditated for that night for about 2 hours. It was a bright full moon, and I was sitting in the back of my car. All of a sudden, the door opens up, and this guy, about my same size as me, gets in my car, sits right next to me, and says, "Oh, hey, do you want to have sex?" Or I think that was something along those lines.
Right. Yeah. I remember that part. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh my, really? So I took a breath. I said, first of all, I'm in the middle of meditation. Second of all, I'm not gay. And third of all, you need to leave now, right?
Yeah.
So he got out of the door, got out, left. I locked the door, and I finished up my meditation. Right? Well, by the end of that meditation, I thought, well, it's hot in Phoenix, it's cold in Flagstaff, and it's nice here in Sedona. I'll just live here in Sedona. Why not, right?
Yeah.
So the next day, I literally had, I think, 4 jobs lined up and a place to live.
Oh,
literally.
wow.
So that's where I lived at for the next year and a half. I can't remember how long, but anyhow, I hung out there, did all kinds of drumming circles, meditation, swimming in the creek, hiking. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And that's a place, where if you don't have money to do tour rides, the Jeep tours or whatever, then you can go out and hike and do your own tour.
Right.
So anyhow, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Right?
Yes, that's right. Now, how did you get into? I know you do a lot of meditation and things, but how did you come about Sai Baba and all of that, and India and?
Okay. A few weeks ago, to answer your other question, I've been, I don't know, there's another book that I want to write, and that's further down the road. I've already written another book. Here, I'll show you the 90-day Ascension Journey. It basically has all the foundation for basically getting to know yourself in terms of the scheme of things and where you're at. Life is a developmental process. I figured out. So I have a course called the Citizen Journey. It's a 10-week course where I teach people all that, and that book is the foundation. And then the other thing that I added to it is called it's a program called Ascension Intuition Sessions, where I go in there and I do clearings and blockage removals, all kinds of stuff, help you manifest stuff that you want to bring into your life and all kinds of stuff. So so I broke it down, and now the Ascension Intuition is a separate program that you can do if people want to do that. And if you're right now, I'm offering free sessions. It's 2-hour sessions, but so far the people that I've done it with, they're just like pretty amazed. But anyhow, I thought, well, I need to write this book. Here, I'll show you this. Now,
Yep.
Before we go forward, I want to tell you a few unique things about this book.
Mhm.
First of all, the cover, I had a friend that painted it, and I programmed her to paint the perfect painting for my book cover, and to paint it right away.
Wow.
Well, she finished the painting inside, I think, 2 weeks, a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I don't know. It wasn't more than 4 weeks, I'm pretty sure.
Uh-huh.
But she said that was the fastest she's ever painted a commission painting ever in her life.
Oh, wow.
And I'm really happy with it. And one of the things about it is that I activated this painting. So when I went and had it professionally shot, it was activated so that if you are around this book, around this painting, there's literally healing energy emanating from the book cover.
Oh,
There's
okay.
also, it's like that. There's also, let me see if I can find this, some, I don't know if I'm sure you've seen the pictures from the Colusa Center, the Sai Baba Colusa Center.
Yeah, yes.
Did you
Yeah,
see those pictures at all?
I did.
Yeah. There's all kinds of vibhuti that's manifesting on these pictures. I used to hang out at this place and sing bhajans. We'd grab some dinner, and one day I said, "Hey, can I photograph your ashram, your temple?" The guy said yes. So I went ahead and photographed, did all kinds of shots. I don't know how many rolls of film I did, and back then it was old school photography that I was doing. I was using negatives instead of the digital.
Yeah.
And so I had the film developed, and then I went to Phoenix, and I had a company develop some postcards from them, right?
Uh-huh.
There was 6 of them, 6 major of them, and I stayed with this family on the other side of Tucson, in I think Olson, I think it was Tolleson or something like that, and I went to bed early that night. I was sleeping on the couch, and all of a sudden there was this face. I go like that, because I thought, wow, that's pretty weird. Wow. And there was this woman that was smiling. She had a big smile on her face, right? But she was a ghost, right, or a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you see or feel or sense a ghost, you want to back. So a lot of times they're stuck and they don't know why they're stuck there, but they are. And some kind of emotion or whatever is keeping them stuck. So I talked to her and I coached her, and I know that she left, but she seemed to leave. And next morning I went to the breakfast table. There's 5 or 6 people there. I sat down. I said, "Did you guys know you have a ghost in your house?" And they're laughing. Ha ha ha. Now, I didn't say the sex of the ghost. I just said they go. Well, we thought we got rid of her, right? So it was like that. So I go, well, she might be gone now because I talk to her and she's going back and so anyhow, those postcards that I had made from the photographs from Colusa. Again, there's all kinds of vibhuti. Do you know what vibhuti is?
No.
Vibhuti is sacred ash. Basically,
Oh, yes.
you
did talk about it in the book. Yes. That's right.
It's made out of cow dung for the most part, and it's purified, and then it's sanctified or made sacred and people use it to meditate. Well, Sai Baba used to make vibhuti by the boatload. Twice a year. You go
I think we're
there and put his hand in a year or something, and just shake it, and all kinds of mounds and mounds.
We're kind of, I think we're losing you. Like I can see your mouth moving really fast, but I'm not hearing much of what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay, well here, let me go ahead and move close to my mic. So anyhow, can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, I apologize about that. So
that's okay.
Anyhow, years ago, I was going to an acting school. It's called Katie's Conservatory now, but it's called Katie's Studio at the time. And at the time, it was just I can't remember. It was just the programs. You can just go take courses, but eventually they developed it so you can actually get a diploma out of there, which I did. I got a 2-year acting diploma. I think a performing arts, 2-year performing arts from there. And so anyhow, I graduated from there in 1986, I believe, May, if I remember right. And I was outside. I think I had just got my diploma, and there were one of the teachers, one of the administrators, who turned out to be one of my guides. I think my mentors. I don't know if you go to India, they talk about if somebody when somebody a guru or master dies, then they pass on their lineage to their students, right?
Uh-huh.
So anyhow, I had a dream where this guy did that. And we were in an elevator. I don't know if we were going up or down, but he gave me all his jewels, like red rubies, the green emeralds and all this stuff, sapphires. He gave me all these big jewels. He gave them to me while we were in this elevator. This was a dream. Yeah. I thought, wow, that's pretty wild. And then later on, I figured out that he was probably my guru, maybe in another life or something. But I think a few weeks later, he ended up getting murdered by some people in New York.
Oh, wow.
Right after that dream. So that was kind of I was kind of pissed off that these guys would do that. They threw some kind of a beer bottle or something at him and killed him with a beer bottle.
Whoa.
So anyhow, me and him, his name was Alan Winslow, and me and him were standing outside in front of KD Studio, and we were just talking, and all of a sudden I felt like this electrical charge go through my body, and all of a sudden I found myself asking him, "What is meditation?" And I don't know who asked that question, but I don't think it was me. It was pretty wild. It was like I was channeling or being overshadowed or something. That was, I think, probably my first actual conscious experience with channeling, I believe. So anyhow, he goes, "Oh, well," he took me to his office in downtown Dallas, and we did a meditation. And then he introduced me to a woman in Irvine, Texas, right? Yeah, I don't know if you know where that's at, but
no.
But anyhow, we went. I went there, and he introduced me to this woman who did a channeling for me. She introduced me to vibhuti. She introduced me to Maitreya Budda and Sai Baba. She showed me some videos, and then after that, I would go. I think she also introduced me to transmission meditation. Have you ever heard of that?
Transmission meditation? Yeah. No, I have not heard of that one.
Meditation is a group meditation. You have to have at least 3 people, and the energies. The group steps down the energies, and then they're sent into the world to help heal people. Like instead of if there's a train accident, instead of 5 people getting injured and 1 getting killed, maybe only 1 will get injured as a result of doing the service. a service of karma yoga and laya yoga. You do hands-on healing as a group, and eventually, if you do it enough, a master or an avatar, a Sai Baba or Maitreya Budda or Jesus or somebody will overshadow and oversee the group. If you meet regularly and long enough, and there's enough people, then well, I've been doing a group online. It's the first of its kind. You won't find it anywhere, but it's revolutionary, progressive, and very, very powerful. On many occasions, if you're sensitive and you do the meditation, you can feel the energy just pouring through like no tomorrow, right?
Oh wow!
In fact, I did last night I did a meditation, and it was pretty powerful. So and sometimes I'll have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people meditating with me. Lately, I've probably had 8, 9, 10 people meditating with me, and I think I've had over 200 or 300 people meditating with me on a few occasions.
Oh wow!
So, and now what's really interesting that's happening, I didn't even think about this, but I was told that people from other planets in the solar system are also doing the meditation with me. I do it every Wednesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. Arizona time, right? So it's very interesting as this thing evolved. I think 2015 was when I started doing this meditation online. I started doing it, I believe, on Blog Talk Radio, but they kept cutting my meditations off, and I don't know if it was them or just their software or whatever, but it kept getting cut off. So anyhow, I finally said, forget it, and I go on free conference call, and you don't even have to call in or any, I mean, if you're in town and you want to join me physically, we can do that. I've had that a few times that people come here and meditate with me, but you don't have to because the beauty about it is you can come in late if you want. You can meditate, for 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, half an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever, or and then you can leave early if you want to. So it's really, really versatile. So you can come in and we usually play. Well, all the groups usually play a message by Maitreya Budda. Years ago, when Benjamin Creme came out and started doing this, he's an artist out of Scotland. He lived in London for a long time, and his paintings are in museums in Scotland. They're worth thousands, probably a couple of $1 million or whatever. So anyhow, he started doing these meditations, and you come in, they play a message from Maitreya Budda. When he started doing this and doing talks about Maitreya Budda and all this other stuff, he started getting overshadowed by Maitreya Budda, and then pretty soon Maitreya Budda started saying messages through him, and so I think there's 140, 150 messages. I don't remember, but you can go online and buy all the messages if you want. But usually a group plays a message by Maitreya Budda, and then you say what you call the Great Invocation. Now, the Great Invocation is actually a prayer that it's in a different language, and it's a really, really lengthy, but it's been shortened down to English version, and so people can remember it. So we recite the Great Invocation and then go into meditation. The meditation is in Zen style meditation. You just allow the energies to flow through, and that's it. You just maintain a level of focus. Now with this group, I think either all the groups or most of the groups, I think there's either my group or 1 or 2 other groups in the world that do the meditation at the crown chakra. You maintain your focus at the crown chakra. Well, with all the other groups, they're all at the third eye center. And then I think there's maybe, I don't even know if there's a handful, but 2 or 3 groups that are do their focus at the throat chakra. So anyhow, the energies are sent out, and you process karma as a group, the energies are sent, and the group becomes a transformer, and this energies are sent out. Now in 2015, when I started this group. It was bizarre. Again, I just go with the flow. One of the things that I learned years and years ago when I tripped off a roof and broke both my heels in Sedona,
Right.
the message was go with the flow. Well, in January 2015, I believe, all of a sudden celebrities started showing up to my group. You know, I'd sit down and do the meditation, and there's always other spirits. Some of the most evolved and advanced beings in the universe do this meditation. I mean, all kinds of beings do this meditation. So anyhow, Paul Walker was the first one, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Out of the blue, I'm sitting down. I have my circle there. He comes in, sits down, and I think he had just got killed. I don't remember when he got killed, but it had been recent, I believe. And he goes, well, can I join your group? Okay, sure, why not? You know, he's a spirit, and he wants to join my group. To me, I don't think he even needs to ask, but he just went ahead and asked. So I said, okay. Well, then, what's his name? Philip Seymour. Do you know who that is?
I've heard the name, but
you know, he's been in a bunch of movies. He comes in, asks if he can join the group. Well, sure, why not? And then Joan Rivers, you know who Joan Rivers is, right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
She came in, and then all these people, Elvis Presley, even Hitler is part of the group now. Saddam Hussein, I can't remember all. I mean, there's a whole probably about 100 celebrities that are in the group now, besides all the other saints, all the other angels, and then all the people that meditate with me throughout the world. I don't know who all these people are. You know, they're all over the world that meditate with me, especially during the full moon. Last night was a full moon, and it was pretty powerful. So, you know, especially during the full moon, I don't know, but they just, I just put out feelers out there, put out some media in the social media. I'm going to do meditation, and I've been doing this since 2015, 2014, maybe. I've been doing this for over 7 years. I've been doing this, and it seems like more and more people are joining the group, not only in spirit form and from other planets, but but people in physical bodies as well. I think people in physical bodies from other planets are joining the group as well. But you know, I can't prove that. But I tell you what, I can sure feel it. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I bet with all everybody's energies.
The more people that join the meditation, the more energies I can feel. So I can feel them pretty strong for the most part. So anyhow, I got introduced to Sai Baba with this woman, and every time I ran out, she had this little base or something, some little thing, and she said that vibhuti would appear there, would manifest whenever it got low. All of a sudden, some more would appear. I said, okay, so I got my vibhuti regularly from her every time I ran out. You know, I was low or ran out, and to the point that I used to be called the vibhuti man. Right? I go to Sai Baba gatherings. I go to eventually. I was in Sedona. I tripped off the roof, broke both my heels, and I moved to Cottonwood. So I had casts in both my on both my heels, on both my feet, from breaking both my heels. And they said that you know, anytime that there's somebody that breaks their heels like that, it's usually a pilot that crashes a plane. So my plane must have crashed somehow or another, and I broke both my heels. So it was like that. So I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I woke up one morning, and I had this dream where I was in grade school, and I know it was my grade school because our grade schools used to have high sidewalks, right? So he was sitting with his back against the wall in the lotus position, his legs crossed, and I sat. First of all, I walked past him, and then I walked back, and then I sat in front of him, And then I went, I folded my hands out so that for whatever reason, I just folded out my hands, put out my hands and folded them out, the palms up. And I said, when may I come and visit you? He says, and he does the same thing, May, right? He does the same thing right back. And all of a sudden, this golden shimmering vibhuti starts, going into my hands, right? And it was so powerful, so strong that my hands were shaking, right? So I have this whole golden shimmering vibhuti, and then all of a sudden, someone went shot to somewhere else. I said, hey, where'd that go to? I couldn't see where it was going to, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you've ever read, I used to be the photographer for the Wesak Festival in Mount Shasta, California. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I haven't.
A guy by the name of Joshua David Stone. He wrote a whole encyclopedia set of books for Ascension, for Ascending. And he produced 10 Wesak festivals in Mount Shasta. Actually, they were in Weed at the College of Siskiyou in Weed, California, in the gym. Over 2,000 people would attend this thing from all over the world. Half from the United States, half from everywhere else. Well, I went there. I went to Sai Baba says you can come and visit me in May. So I said, Sai Baba, I don't have to go to India to visit you to know who you are. So I'm good with that. Well, I did. I ended up going to India. I believe 1997 in May. I took off and I was there for like almost 2 months. And I visited Sai Baba. I seen him manifest vibhuti. He would manifest diamond rings, green diamond rings, blue diamond rings, all kinds of stuff. And the crowds were amazing, right? It was just amazing. Well, anyhow, I bought 4 bags of vibhuti there, like for $2 or whatever.
Yeah.
And we were the Italian. When you go there, you put on these scarves, and if your group is called, then all of you go in, and he talks with you privately in his mandir after doing a darshan or a blessing thing. So anyhow, I bought 4 bags of vibhuti, and the Italians adopted me. So they gave me a flag, so in case they got called, then I would go in with them. Well, they never got called, and we did. We went to a darshan. We came back out in Vrindavan, I believe in Vrindavan, Whitefield, India. We came out, and I was telling them that I went and sat down. When you get your vibhuti, or your letters or whatever, you can go and Sai Baba will bless them, right? So I went and I had broken heels, so I couldn't wear shoes. I wore sandals, and I would sit where all the cripples and all the old people would sit, right? So it was on a bench, and I could see over the crowd, over everything. I could see Sai Baba walking around. It was like an author's view, right? Viewpoint. So I went and sat down with the crowd, sat down on the floor with everyone, and I had my vibhuti there, and I for him to bless. So Sai Baba, he comes by and he looks back, and then he takes off. And there was what you call a sevadar, or security guard, right next to me. I said, doesn't he have to touch my vibhuti bags in order for them to be blessed? He says, no. Well, he goes, if he walks by, it's blessed. I said, okay. So I was telling them the story to the Italians and some other people, about 4 or 5 people, right, outside. And as soon as I said something about the sevadar, saying that he just walks by and they're blessed. As soon as I said something like that, all of a sudden my hands started shaking, just like in the dream, right?
Yeah.
Because the energies that were going into the vibhuti were so powerful, and my hands couldn't even sit still long enough to just be calm, right? It was just so powerful. So I gave one of the bags to the Italians, and then I came back to Sedona, and I gave a bunch of it away. Do you know a guy by the name of Tom Dongo in Sedona?
I don't.
He's an amazing remote viewer, from what I understand. He's a psychic, and he's written several books about Sedona and all kinds of stuff. Well, I said, here, try some of this vibhuti, see what you think.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, wow, that's powerful. I said, yeah. So he was like zoning out from the vibhuti, right? So anyhow, I came back, and I moved. Well, I was in Cottonwood. I was living in Cottonwood at the time. I was going to school, and I was I don't know what I had 2 broken heels, and all of a sudden I had that dream where Sai Baba invited me to visit him. Well, when I came back, there was a Sai Baba group here in Flagstaff. Well, the woman, there was a couple that was running it, and the woman of the group said she had a dream, and all of a sudden she had golden shimmering vibhuti that was being given to her. That must have been where that golden shimmering vibhuti went to, right? So anyhow, what was I gonna say? Oh my God, I had it in my mind and then I forgot. But anyhow, go ahead.
That's okay.
Right?
No, I've heard a little bit of Sai Baba because we had a guest on a couple of years ago. I don't know if you've seen any of his videos on YouTube. Keith Anthony Blanchard. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah,
He talked a lot about him too, and so that's why when I saw that in your book, I'm like, wait a minute, I've heard some of this, and I've had another gentleman say that he had traveled and all this, and then you brought up the avatars, which he kind of talked about avatars too. So I thought that was kind of cool. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like deja vu all over.
Well, he's like Jesus, except he's much more evolved, and I think that's probably the way you can tell between the different. There's all kinds of saints out there.
Right.
And I think that's how you can tell which ones are more evolved. Number one, the more evolved saints can how do you say when you bilocate? They can bilocate more than others. One saint might be able to bilocate to one other place and that's it. Well, the more evolved saints can bilocate to 20 different places at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that's the other thing, in terms of how aware they are. Now, Sai Baba is he's Christ conscious on the universe level, whereas Jesus may be Christ conscious on the solar system level or the galactic level. He might be Christ conscious. He knows everything that's going on in this galaxy, whereas Sai Baba knows everything that's going on throughout the whole universe. So it's like that. Are you there? You seem like you're frozen in time and space. Were you funny? Are you there?
I'm here. Can you not hear me?
Yeah, you're cutting out for some reason, but go ahead.
Maybe it's all the energy we have going right now.
All right, right. Sai Baba's probably zapping this place. Okay, why not? Well, anyhow, to go back to the postcards that I had made, I did go to the place in Phoenix, and I how would you say, I confirmed, approved the postcards that I wanted done, right? And I gave a bunch of them to the guy that owned the Colusa Center, and then shortly there afterwards, they had that whole 911 incident, right? September 9th, 2000 or whatever, or 2001, whatever. Well, I had sent some of those cards to Sai Baba because I had already come back and I had produced these postcards, and for him to bless them. Well, whoever took them, I believe they took 100 of them, and whoever took them there, and Sai Baba blessed them. Well, right after that, in fact, right, I don't know, within 2 or 3 days or something like that, they sent those cards to the people in New York to help them with healing and to for them to be blessed and for them to go to help them with the heal through all the stuff that they had gone. So several of those postcards are in New York, probably even now. I don't think people throw them away. But they're, eventually I don't know how many I had, 5,000 of them. I can't remember how many.
Oh, wow.
They're all gone. They're all gone.
Oh.
I only have one set of postcards left, and that's it. And they're on my altar as we speak.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's insane. As I was saying, we have a couple questions in chat before we start running out of time. So,
okay.
The first question was, what is your favorite part of your book? What's the favorite part of your book?
My favorite part? Oh, I can't answer that because there's several parts. Now, the significant thing about my book is that I started in with Fade In. As a kid,
mm-hmm.
I don't know if I tripped or someone pushed me, but I fell on my head when I was a kid.
Right.
I had amnesia or something, and I don't remember anything from before the Fade In, because all of a sudden I was at this daycare center, and I fade in, and there was there I am with a jousting stick in my hand. This guy is teaching us how to joust.
Yeah.
I'm going, it's like a movie, right?
So, yeah.
So all these paranormal experiences start happening, and then within the last 2 or 3 years, maybe actually, I started learning how to do programs in December of 2005. I call them programs. So I started learning how to purposefully and consciously produce and manifest paranormal events and activities. So now I have 3 instances, and I have much more than that. Actually, I think I have several instances, but one where I knew 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I knew I was going to get some money, and I wanted to get the perfect car for the perfect price. So I kept doing some programs, and it was like, I don't know, about a month and a half later that I bought the car. But all of a sudden I had a vision in my mind of the car that I was supposed to buy. Well, it looked really old because of the way the lighting was. And then I went online and started looking for it. And sure enough, I actually seen the exact same photo that I seen in my mind. But it was it's still a lot nicer than it is than I thought because of the lighting. It looked really old because it looked like, it had been, the paint had faded out, but it wasn't. So anyhow, I called up the guy. I said, "You're not going to believe this, but I'm supposed to buy your car." He says, "Well, if you can get over here, well, I'll sell it to you." I said, "Okay." So I went out, I bought a one-way ticket to Greyhound bus ticket to Phoenix, and he picked me up, and we went through all this process of me getting the money. The money was in my account, but somehow Bank of America just wasn't giving it all to me, right?
Yeah.
So they locked me out of my account, my ATM. What? So finally, I ended up staying there for the night, right? And the next day, I says, "Okay, I'm going to do one more program and see what happens." And I did the program. So I have the money the car paid for in full by 2 p.m. and out of there by 2 p.m. Well, that's exactly what happened. I talked to a supervisor or something from Bank of America, and she released the rest of the funds to me, and I paid for my car, signed all the paperwork, and took off back here to Flagstaff. And then another instance of a purposeful conscious manifestation is where there's a model out of Los Angeles, a really beautiful model. She said somebody hacked into her Instagram account. Mm-hmm. So she goes, "I need some help. Can somebody help me?" And I just waited. I didn't do anything. And I think a week and a half or so, I finally said, "Okay, do you want some help with your getting back into your Instagram account?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, well, why don't you do a Zoom meeting with me and we'll go over it." So I did some programs. We went on Zoom. I did some programs, and I think she didn't. She was like, "Really? I thought you were gonna really help me." Well, I did the program so she would get her account back, but I didn't say how, right? Well, literally about a week and a half later, she somehow ended up talking to the guy that hacked into her account, and he goes, "Oh, you're a really nice lady," and all that's in the book. And he gave her account back, right? And she got back her account. And the third, and there again, there's a few more other instances, but these are the most notable ones. Last year, I started hearing about Britney Spears. She was in that conservatorship for like 13 years, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't even know anything about it till last year, right? Mm-hmm. So, and a lot of people were annoyed and mad because, you know, all this drama was going on. So finally I said, okay, Brittany, I'll help you. So, and I have the information all in there. I did some programming for her to get back into her conservatorship. Well, November 12th of last year, as most people know, or a lot of people know, she got back out of that conservatorship. And she, in fact, got married about 2 weeks ago. She just got married. That's one of the things she wanted out of it. So anyhow, the question, tell me that question again about.
He just wanted to know what your favorite part of the book was, if you had a favorite part.
I think that's probably some of the better parts that I really like. I think a lot of people are don't like the first part because it seems to be boring for them. But as you get more into it, then it gets more interesting. So you just have to either cut to the chase or just be patient, right?
Yep, that's right. Okay, last question here before we get all your social media information and all your information about your book. There's another question they want to know: with you being in Arizona, do you see a lot of UFOs?
Well, okay. First of all, there's the painting for my book cover right there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But if you read the book, I have had UFO experiences in Sedona, Grass Valley, Flagstaff. I think one or two other places. So I don't think that UFOs or aliens are picky about where they're gonna meet people or talk to people or whatever. Now, if you ever go to Sedona and they go, "Oh, go to one of the vortexes and meditate there," or something. Well, I think what's happened is UFOs have appeared at certain spots over and over and over again and magnetized. You know, kind of like the crop circles. All those crops are magnetized. Well, I think they've magnetized some of the areas in Sedona. Like I think there's 7 or 8 major vortexes there, and that's why, because they have magnets, and it's just like the crop circles. So again, you know, you have the crop circles in England. So I don't think they're really picked. I think a lot of times they appear at certain places because it's easier for them to maneuver or work with people or whatever in those areas. But I don't think they're really picky about where they want to land or whatever. So it's like
right, yeah. Okay, so for our listeners, where can they get a copy of your book?
Now, I don't know if we can put it in the chat room, but if we can put it in the chat room, I'll put it in there. But right now until Sunday, I have the book available for free on Kindle. All right, they can go to Amazon.com, go under the books menu, look up Andrew Aloha, and you can find it there. And again, now you kind of have to read. Amazon is kind of a shyster because it's in little small print. They try to get you to do the unlimited Kindle version, but you don't have to do that. There's a little button, and you have to kind of look for it. But it's literally, it says you can purchase this book on Kindle for free for $0. So you click on that button, and you can get it for free there. Now again, if you want to have the book with you regularly, it's activated. The book cover and several of the pictures in there are activated so that they emanate healing energies to whoever's within range of the book. So it's like that.
And they can get that on Amazon as well, right?
Yeah, or you can go to my website, spiritualimageproductions.com, spiritualimageproductions.com. And a lot of my social media is on there. If you go to my Facebook fan page, you'll see some of the links for the book there and some other stuff there. So I have I have a preview of the book there that you people can listen to as well.
Okay, perfect. Yep. Okay, so I put those. I put your website, and then I put the information for the free Kindle in our chat. And then you said you also have like a Facebook page.
I do. I have a fan page, and then I have the regular Andrew Aloha profile page. But you can go to the fan page, and everything that goes on the profile page goes on the fan page. And so okay. and that's usually the best thing if you want to do that. Either way. Okay. Doesn't hurt my feelings at all, right?
So make sure you go check out Andrew Aloha's book. Like you said, it's available free on Kindle at Amazon.com until Sunday. So go check it out. If you want a hard copy of it, you can go to his website, and that was spiritualimages.com, or also available on Amazon. And then go check him out and give him a like follow him on Facebook at Andrew Aloha. Once again, you can find him on Facebook, and then he also has a website, spiritualimages.com. Now, did you say you have a YouTube page?
I do. I have a TikTok page. I have a Twitter page. I don't have an Instagram account page, but you can still go over there and connect with me and hook up with me there if you want. But now I want to tell you before I forget, for your audience, exclusive for your audience, and I don't know how long I'm going to do this, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I'm just going with the flow. But if people want to do a free Ascension intuition session where I go in and do blockage removals, clearings, and manifestation or whatever, I did one with an actress out of New York last week, and she was in tears because she was in so much pain, right? So I did some clearing stuff, and she was feeling a lot better afterwards. So I was happy about that. But if you're exclusive, mention just say Alison from REP Paranormal.
Okay.
Just tell them to mention that Alison from REP Paranormal, and I'll give you a free session. It's a 2-hour session, so if you want it, that's the way. That's how the session goes. But I think it's worth it. I had a woman do six of them a few weeks ago, and I think she was like pretty surprised in terms of how it helped her just open up and just tap into things she hadn't thought about or since before, or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. So I put the information. So if you're listening, go check out the chat in here. You can get information on that. Just mention myself, Alison, to get that free session, and then we'll post it on our social media as well. So that way, if you don't check chat, we'll have it up on our social media too within the next day or two. So take advantage of that, and then make sure, like I said, go check out Andrew's book. And thank you so much for being a guest on our show tonight.
Thank you. I really appreciate y'all having me. Come on back now. You hear?
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
I think I'll make the session available till the end of July, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do there. But the offer is good till the end of July for the
end of July. Okay,
Ascension.
perfect.
And if you guys are interested, let me know. I'll hook you up. All right.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for listening. We will be back next week.
Thank you for having me here. Aloha.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you for being on. All right. Perfect. All right. That was good.